What's up, family? Man, I want to have real heart to heart with you guys today. And one of the subscribers in a comment asked me to talk about the ripple effect. I've talked about that in several videos in the past, a while back. But the great majority of the stuff that we talk about on this channel applies to the ripple effect. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. See, the ripple effect is simply you take a pebble, take a rock, throw it into the pond, into a calm body of water, and you watch the ripples. One action, a rock hitting the water, and just watching the water cascade, watching the water ripple out across the pond. That's what happens in life. That's what happens to every one of us. It's what happens. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. See, talk about my life, use my life as an example. When I was molested at the age of 6, man, the ripple effect of that was devastating. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. The ripple effect to guys did certain things, but the effects of that, the consequences of their actions, what transpired in my life because of their actions, because of what they did. I grew up questioning my manhood. I grew up, I knew that I wasn't attracted to guys. I knew I didn't want shit to do with guys other than, man, let's hang out, let's play ball, or whatever the case may be. But I was always attracted to women. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. The ripple effect of what they did. I'm now looking at women, young girls at the time, because I was in junior high school when I first had sex. And so I'm having sex with these girls, trying to prove that I'm not gay. I didn't know that. Stay with me. I just knew I wanted to have sex. And so I'm having sex with all these young girls. I was a young boy, not knowing what the hell I was doing, not understanding the consequences of my actions. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. I'm just having sex because it's the thing to do. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And after a while, it wasn't enough for me. Having sex with one young lady wasn't enough. Now I'm older. Now, man, you got to do more. I've been there, done all of that. You know what I mean? Now I got to have two women at the same time. Been there, done that. That after a while, that got boring to me. Now I got to have three women. It got up to me having to have four women at the same time. Because, like a drug addiction, man, you start taking alcohol, you start popping pills or smoking, whatever the case may be, then your tolerance increases. What got you high, what made you feel good initially, don't do it, no, do it anymore. Now it takes more. You got to do more to get the same high, the same feeling. I'm a ripple effect. These women didn't know those guys that molested me. Their lives have been affected by these guys that they didn't even know. They had never met. I'm having sex with women I didn't even really want to have sex with. I'm having sex, man, just because I got to. Because I got these demons in my head telling me, man, you got to have sex. I'm feeling insecure about my manhood. And the only way to feel like you're the man is go out there and have sex with women. I'm not even caring about these women at all. They're just a means to an end. I just need them to silence the motherfucking noise in my head. They didn't even know it. So all these women, like, man, you're a hoe and you're a man hoe and whoop the whoop and you're a dog and da da da. Man, they're calling me all this. I didn't give a fuck. Why? Because I had bigger problems. My problems was the fact that, man, I got all this shit in my head telling me I gotta have sex. And I'm not even understanding why. A lot of I didn't even want to. But I had to. Ripple effect because of these guys' actions. Years later, years later, my life is playing out. Other people's lives are being affected by my life because of what these guys did when I was 6 years old. The ripple effect. See, so often as young people, we look at our parents and we see our parents are mean and they're whoop 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 and da 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 da. We don't understand why our parents are the way that they are and blah 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 blah. And they're abusive and they're drunks and they're alcoholics and that. We got all these things and negative things to say about our parents, never understanding the hell and the pain that they went through, never understanding what happened to them in their life to make them the way that they are, to make them the way they are. That's the ripple effect. I put out a video earlier talking about the Christmas Carol, talking about Ebenezer Scrooge. He was a ripple effect of the abusiveness that he went through from his father. He was a ripple effect from his father beating him and pushing into his head, man, you got to save money. You got to be da-da-da when it comes to money because his daddy was broke. His daddy was abusive. And so the consequences, the ripple effect of his daddy's actions are now playing out throughout the world, throughout the movie. All these people are dying. All these people are hungry, and Ebenezer Scrooge has the ability to help them, and he don't give two fucks about them. Why? Because he remembered the programming that he got. He remembered the indoctrination he got. He remembered the beatings he got from his daddy when it came to money. So often we're quick, and you guys hear me say this all the time, we're quick to judge people not knowing what the fuck they went through. We're quick to look down on people not understanding the pain and the trauma that they're carrying. We look at drug addicts and we look at homeless people and we're like, ugh, they gross me out. Ugh, they disgust me. Da, da, da. Never knowing the fucking pain and the trauma that put them there. Never knowing the choices and decisions that's been made that's cascaded, man, that rippled down to where they're at now. Nobody grows up and says that they want to be a drug addict. Nobody as a little kid says, I want to grow up and I want to be the biggest drug addict in the world. No kid ever said, I want to grow up and spend the rest of my life in prison. No kid has ever said, I want to grow up and I want to dumpster dive and I want to have to go through all the cold and all the garbage cans and all the dumpsters looking for scraps and being abused by people and being mistreated by people, been looked down by people. No kid has ever grew up saying that. Nobody's ever grew up saying, I want to commit suicide when I get 30 years old. When I become rich and famous, I want to kill myself. Nobody says that. Nobody grows up saying, I want to get my heart broken and I want to get rejected and abandoned, abused, and beat down and da 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 da. And then I want to go hang myself. Nobody says that. Life happens. Something traumatic happens. Something traumatic happens. The domino effect. The ripple effect can also be referred to as the domino effect. The domino effect from this situation transpiring, this situation happening in your life. Because as a little girl, you thought that you were beautiful because your daddy said you were beautiful. Woo, doo, doo, woo. Man, and then he touched you, and he kept touching you. And every time he touched you inappropriately, he was telling you and whispering to you how beautiful you were. And now you don't want to be seen as beautiful because you associate being seen as beautiful as being attractive as I gotta get hurt, I gotta get abused. I got to get mistreated. I have to be disrespected. All I'm worth is just somebody's sexual fantasy. The domino effect. You see, this is part of doing the shadow work. This is part of doing that deep, hard work of diving deep within the subconscious thoughts and finding out, why am I so angry? What happened in life that has caused me to be so angry? What happened in life that caused me to be so mistrusting or distrusting of other people? What happened in life to make me hate guys so much that I never want another guy to touch me? What happened? What occurred in my life that made me give up? What occurred in my life that pushed me to drugs, that pushed me to alcohol? What occurred in my life that pushed me to these abusive relationships? These are domino effects. These are ripple effects. Somebody told you that you wasn't beautiful. Somebody told you you were ugly. You were fat, you were skinny, you were buck tooth, you had a big nose, or you were flat chested, you didn't have no booty, whatever the case may be, and now you're promiscuous. Now you're a hoe. Why? Because you need the validation of you're good enough. Now you get all over social media and you're showing everybody your titties and your ass and all this other stupid shit because you need that attention. You don't want to have sex with them. You just want them to like you. You just want them to be attracted to you. Why? What happened in life to push you down this path? Something happened. Something always happens to lead us where we're at. The question that we have to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get here? And then I have to figure out, why am I here? How I got here and why I'm here ain't the same question, ain't the same answers. How I got here is because I did because they did this. Why am I here is a choice that I'm making because, man, for whatever reason, I'm choosing to stay here. I don't want to be here, but I'm choosing to stay here. I'm choosing to deal with my pain and my suffering this way. I'm choosing to hide my insecurities this way. So we got to get all yoked up. We got to get all prettied up. To mask the fact that we don't look good enough. We don't feel like we look good enough. We're not attractive enough. See, the mind is a crazy thing. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, man, it's an interesting thing to study the mind. You see, I know a lot of religious folks don't want to do that. You know, that's taboo to them. You know, they don't want to deal with the mind stuff. They just want to say everything's a fucking sin. I'm not one of those people. Everything ain't a fucking sin. We have to grow the fuck up. We have to understand who we are and why we're here. Why are we here? Not as what's my purpose. Why am I right here in this specific place at this specific time? Why am I right here facing the decisions and the choices that I am? Why am I here? We want to ask, why am I here? As the big question of, man, what's my ultimate purpose? Fuck that bullshit. Let's deal with the here and now. Why are you here? We're not worried about what's going to happen in the future. We're focused on the here and now. See, by focusing on here and now, I dictate the future. If all I do is hide from my trauma, act like I ain't got no trauma, act like everything's great with me, my future is trauma. My future is chaos. My future is no peace, no joy, no happiness. My future is frustration, depression. That's my future. And I'm choosing my future by what I choose right here and now. See, the ripple effect and the domino effect is not just negative, it's positive as well. By me choosing to do the work, by me choosing to do the hard work of dealing with my issues in the here and now, my future, peace. My future is joy. My future is happiness. Why? Because that's the domino effect of me dealing with the hard shit now. It's like going to college. If I do the work, if I do what I'm supposed to do, the end result is I'm going to graduate. That's the domino effect. That's the ripple effect. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to be able to walk across that stage and receive a certificate, receive a diploma. That's the results of my work. You can always tell your future by looking at your present. I'm gonna say that again because y'all know a lot of you don't believe that. You could tell your future by looking at your present. And what I mean by that, you can't tell whether you're gonna be financial or whatever just by looking at me now, at how I look now, financially now. But by looking at your state of mind, I could determine your future by looking at your state of mind now. Why? Because your state of mind is on a low vibration. Your state of mind, and you ain't dealing with the real shit. You're not dealing with the real issues. You're distracted, you're sugarcoating shit, you're making excuses, and woo. So the reality is, that becomes your future. That negative shit that you don't want to deal with, that pain, that trauma that you keep sweeping up under the rug, that you keep dismissing, you keep avoiding. You don't want to deal with it in the here and now. You didn't deal with it in the past. And so it's in your present. You're not dealing with it in your present. So it's going to be in your future. That avoidance, that dismissive nature, that's creating a domino effect too. The negative one. And it's one the great majority of us make every day, unconsciously. Because we don't understand the domino effect. We don't understand the ripple effect. We don't understand you reap what you sow. You hear people say you reap what you sow all the time. It's the same thing. You reap what you sow, the domino effect, the ripple effect, is all the same thing. You reap what you sow. You put in the work now, you reap the rewards in the future. I'm putting in the work now for my peace, my joy, my happiness. I put that work in the past. That's why now in the present, I have happiness. I have joy. I have peace because I did the work in the past, because I understood the lessons in the past. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. And because we won't grow up, because we won't have these real heart to heart conversations with ourselves, because we won't look ourselves in the mirror and be completely open and transparent with ourselves, the ripple effect is we learn how to mask our pain and suffering. We become great pretenders. We become great at dismissing and minimizing and justifying our mediocrity, our low frequency, our self-hate. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. And that's hard. And everybody say they're doing it. And the great majority of us ain't. We're not. We're not putting in the work. I said this in a video earlier this morning. We've become so emotionally lazy. We don't want to do the work. We don't want to do the work. We don't want to deal with the work. And that's why there's that saying, same shit, different day. Why? Because I won't deal with this shit today. I won't resolve this shit today. And because I won't deal with it and resolve it today, I'm going to have to face it tomorrow and the next day 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 until I come to grips with the shit. Until I face it, learn the lesson, and resolve it. The ripple effect could be positive. It could be you believing in some kid, you believing in somebody and inspiring somebody and speaking life into somebody. When everybody else around them is speaking negative, you're that one person that sees beauty in their life. You're that one person that sees greatness in them. You're that one person that's always a positive influence in their life. The ripple effect. And so because you've taken the time out, because you planted those seeds, the ripple effect. That kid grows up and does something positive with their life because of what you've done. That kid believes in themselves because of you. That kid goes on to reach greatness because of you. What are you sowing into the world? What are you throwing out into the water, into the abyss? You're putting something out there. Is it negative energy or is it positive energy? Regardless of whether you put negative energy out into the abyss or positive energy out into it, it's going to have a ripple effect. There's going to be a domino effect because of your actions, because of your lack of actions. The choice is yours. It's always been yours. Man, hope and pray that says something to be encouraging, to be inspiring, to be uplifting, even challenge your way of thinking. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.